Okay, this is the second time I lost 100 pounds, so it's the part two. Um, it was mainly, basically, what I would describe as keto. Um, the very first time I lost weight, they didn't have keto by that name, they had Atkins. For any of you old people like me, you'll remember Atkins. People were like, all he does is just eat bacon and butter and blah, 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 blah. Essentially, it was just a version of keto, the Atkins diet. But when I did keto, it was when it was popular. It was when everybody was calling it keto. Uh, it took me about a year, something like that, to lose the 100 pounds. A lot of what I had to get used to was reading the labels and interpreting the labels, because you could get, they have a lot more of the stuff now. There's way, way, way more options. But you would take the entire carb number, like say if it said there was 30 carbs, and you would subtract whatever fiber and whatever, if there was sugar alcohols or any one of a couple different things, like you would look up, um, you could subtract those from the total carb number and it would give you your net carbs. What was dangerous about some of those, not actually dangerous, just dangerous in terms of possible, very interesting potty times, would be some of the wraps. Like some of the wraps, you could get up to 18, 20 grams of fiber in one wrap. So that's almost a whole day's worth of fiber. And if you were doing keto, you might normally just have zero fiber or almost zero fiber. So if you're doing taco night like I was, and you have 5, 6, 7, 8 wraps because they were small or because you just had 7 or 8 burritos, you might have just had 140, 150 grams of fiber right there in one sitting, which is a lot of fiber. It's a lot of fiber, and it's going to go through you like it's a lot of fiber, because that's what fiber is supposed to do. Just go through you, insoluble fiber. So there's a lot of that. There was a lot of, luckily, the second time around, I ate vegetables. Up until until I met my son's mother, I would not eat a vegetable. My only vegetable was ketchup. So I ate vegetables at that point, which made things better in a lot of ways because I had a lot more options, so that I could have, like, one of my favorite meals was like roasted cauliflower with steak and avocado. It's like one of my absolute favorite meals. And I don't think cauliflower is really bad in the carbs, but you have to watch, because even some vegetables will have more carbs than you think it will, especially if you eat, like I might eat a whole head of cauliflower, with a bunch of like olive oil on it or stuff like that. But that, or roasted broccoli or asparagus, but yeah, that was a staple of mine during that time. I would still love to do it now, like roasted cauliflower, steak, and avocado. Love that meal. Great meal. Any kind of roasted vegetable, steak, avocado. Great meal. I also did a lot of green juices, like kale, cucumber, maybe like one green apple, and avocado. Just a whole bunch of green things I would put in there, because it was just like, it was something that was popular at the time, and you could get it to be like just low enough carb wise that if you had half of it, it would still be like keto, because keto you can have up to like 25 carbs, I want to say, in a day, something like that. And also I would get the keto sticks. They're like little test strips you can pee on it. It'll tell you how many ketones you're emitting through your urine, because that's when they say it's a keto diet, it's because you're in ketosis and you're emitting or excreting ketones. So you pee on the little strip, and depending on what color it turns, you know how deep into ketosis you are. Caveat for that is if you're drinking like a ton of water, like I generally do, like a gallon of water, you'll dilute your pee so that it doesn't actually seem like you're in ketosis, but you may very well still be. It's just harder to know. I mean, now there's glucose monitors and all kinds of things that you can, like, that I think you'll see people put them like on the back of their arm, and it like goes to your phone or something like that. I don't know. But there was the ones that you could prick your finger to actually get like a really accurate reading of the amount of sugar essentially that's in your blood at any one time. So you could have a meal, and then you could test your blood and see how much it actually rose your blood sugar. I never got into all that. I just was like, I'm eating super low carb, as low carb as I can possibly eat. And I mean, that was basically it. It took a long time because I think even though many of the times I was eating very low carbs, maybe it wasn't as low as I thought it was, because it's harder to know, especially when you're doing something like broccoli or cauliflower, or like I said, like the frankenfoods, those kind of things, the things that have really, really high fiber. You got to see how those impact your body. And then when you're adding a ton of fat to everything, like which encouraged to do with a lot of the keto diets, fat is 9 calories per gram, whereas protein and carbs are only 4 calories per gram. So you are just getting more calories at the end of the day if you're having more fat in your diet. So I suspect there was plenty of days when I was having, 4,000, 5,000 calories without knowing it. And even though it doesn't hit your body if you're actually in ketosis the same way that it would if you were having like 4,000, 5,000 calories with carbs in your diet, it still can stall your weight loss or stop it altogether, or even make you go backwards a little bit. So, yeah, the second time was keto. It took a long time. What I do now is way easier. It's way better. It's much more just simple. No way is easy, but there are definitely simple ways. And there's ways that are easier. So, all right. I love you. Have a good day.